On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 2 of a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, Sirius XM channel 158. Gill Alexander in San Francisco this week. Once again, Kelley Bydlon back in Vegas at Circa Resort Casino, VSiN Studios, high atop the world's largest sportsbook. All good, Kelley? All good over there?
Yeah, except someone in the crew just yelled at me to get in my seat, get in my dang seat. I was taking my sweet time. Maybe I'll just McAfee it the rest of the day. I'm just going to stand for the next 2 hours.
Oh, I thought that meant you were going to wear like sleeveless shirts. I thought you were going to do that.
Oh, maybe a tank top. Do that too. Yeah, I could add all that. You looking real
gun
good.
Show, ladies. The man has lost 3 bills, or excuse me, 1 bill, 3 digits.
No, we let Fezzik do that once, and then that had to stop forever.
Oh yeah, that was what's the word? They put the kibosh on that. Mm-hmm. Is it kibosh or kibosh? Which do we go with? Do we know?
That's a good question, actually. I think I want to say either work because I've heard both definitely, but
yeah. Okay. Tweets, beating the book, Patrick Kelley. By the way, Chris Fallica, the Bear, standing by, talk soccer and more with us. He's got baseball and golf thoughts. Patrick Kelley, I'd have to drink a lot of gin and inhale a lot of Colorado air freshener to take the Rockies 60-1 for most in July, even with them at 5-2. Completely agree with you there. Scotty,
air freshener. Ha! That took me a sec, but I got it.
Scotty Leisure Suit Kobe. Interesting how Las Vegas is home to so many big events, but the World Cup didn't play there. What up with that, dough? He says. It is interesting, I guess. You know, Joe Pete and I were watching the Spain and Portugal the other day? I already forget. Spain, Portugal. And it was, I think that was the one in Arlington. Arlington obviously closed the Jerry Stadium. What do you call it? Jerry World. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is that in a football game, American football, because there's punting, sometimes you get a glimpse of the overhang scoreboard, but in actual football, soccer, you never see that. So like you would never know that it was indoors, I guess, while watching.
It's a good call. I never really thought about it.
It is a good question. Yeah. It is a good question why they didn't do it here. Who knows? You know, FIFA probably had a reason. We didn't bribe them enough in Vegas, I guess, is what probably the answer is. Did I say that out loud?
Step it up, Vegas. Come on.
J-Rod, Marlins to win NL East a bet? Jensen thought so. I'm not on board with it, but good, brave call by him. And then PAW was talking about the Sabermetric All-Stars that I was just talking about, both to the good and the bad. Brian Wu, Jesus Luzardo in terms of underperforming, Eduardo Rodriguez, just massive overperformer. And he was putting the Tango numbers to them. Tango, again, is for our Cy Young guardrails. Erod's going to have a way higher number than those guys based on performance thus far. In other words, he's not as concerned in the Tango numbers with the advanced stats and where you ought to be as a pitcher. He's just more concerned with innings pitched, Ks, your win, the win-loss record, innings pitched. So it's just the baseball card stats. So it's not a reflection of what is to come. It's more of a question of what has been, or more of a reflection, I should say, of what has been. Chris Fallica joins us now, ladies and gentlemen. He is the Bear, El Oso from Fox Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at Chris Fallica, Fallica. He is the host of the Bear Bets podcast empire and has been putting out great social media clips on the World Cup daily. Although I think he took a day off one of these days, if I'm not mistaken. He shirked his streak.
I was lazy. I was lazy yesterday. I woke up late yesterday and It was an early match, so I just said screw it. I punted. But yeah, I'll post something a little later today with some reacts from the last couple of days, and we'll spin forward to the quarterfinals.
Okay. Please don't talk about my horrible behavior yesterday on the group chat. It was very embarrassing behavior by me.
What happens in the group chat stays in the group chat. Unlike a certain gentleman on Friday who comes on after me in that 12 o'clock hour, who sometimes reveals things that happen in the group chat. I will. The group chat, it's under lock and key, and I'm sure the great one, Todd Wishnet, will appreciate my confidence.
Let's see
in me there.
Let's see if Steve Fezzik shows up on Friday, because I don't think any fireworks are scheduled this week, so he should show up on Friday.
I don't think so either.
Let's start with the World Cup, but before we get your picks in the quarterfinals, let me start with VAR yesterday. Obviously, Argentina comes back from a 2-0 deficit to beat Egypt 3-2, but in there, before they took the actual 2-0 lead, Egypt, it looked like they had a previous goal that would have put them up 2-0. There was a foul. I don't think anybody really is arguing with the foul, but it happened, completely opposite end of the field. Egypt got possession of the soccer ball. They went all the way upfield about 10 seconds later-ish, score a beautiful goal, but and then there's this pause. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's going. No one, for really an inkling, really for a little period of time, had any inkling. I don't think. Maybe you did. That this was going to review. We find out that it is, and we find out that it is no goal. That Argentina is awarded a free kick at the spot of the foul. Now, I was saying earlier. Now, obviously, yesterday, massive social media outcry from one side on this. Oh, Egypt got robbed. FIFA is corrupt. And I pointed out, though, that the language there is no language here that states how much earlier a foul happens if there's no change of possession, where it can't nullify a goal, nor does it say how far away from said goal it happened. What was your take on all of it?
I had an inkling it was coming, because I had friends at the match who, prior to the graphic on television getting thrown up, they were like, VAR. And like literally like 5 or 10 seconds later, the graphic popped up on them, because you see it in the stadium. They must have put it up on the scoreboard before it went up graphically. And is that really what we're using VAR for? Like, for that? And I think if we're going to, I think everybody just wants a little bit of consistency. How is that reviewed? But the play in the box in stoppage time, where there was a foul, a very similar looking foul on Argentina that could have been a penalty for Egypt, potentially tie the game and send it to extra time. How is that not called? And I think that is the frustration, how two similar plays, one that it's an automatic penalty, and the other one, it took a goal off the board for Egypt. And yes, Egypt did blow the 2-0 lead. They allowed 3 goals in 15 minutes or whatever it was. But I do think there is a feeling of kind of like, well, what do we have to do? And this is not something that is uncommon for matches involving Argentina. And people have this opinion that FIFA is in bed with or loves or favors Argentina, because you have that yesterday. You've got the goal taken off the board for a VAR penalty on the other side after an unbelievable run up the field, probably the goal of the tournament, except maybe the Cape Verde goal. You've got that. Then you've got the similar type of play in the box, which would have been a penalty to tie the game. And no, that's not called. You've got Lionel Messi studs up into the back of an Algerian player in the group match. No card at all. Similar type play with Bydlon. He gets a red card after VAR. They've got Cabo Verde with Messi. They're setting up their wall, and the ref allows an early free kick to be taken. I think it's more of a look at the video clips yesterday of Johnny Football reacting to Egypt's second goal. Everybody's going crazy, and he gives kind of like this smack, like he's disappointed Egypt scored. Like this. It doesn't mean that there's a conspiracy out there for Argentina and that FIFA and the referees favor Argentina. No, it doesn't. But all of these little things together create these controversies and circumstances that can lead people down this rabbit hole. And I now add in another one. For the first time ever, the match involving France tomorrow, 5 Argentinian officials on the match. Like it's like why are you? If there's nothing there, why create the illusion that you're kind of? Oh, let's just knock France out with these Argentinian officials. Like it's baffling to me. So I get the angst and I get the frustration, and there is definitely a subculture out there that feels that FIFA basically has it in for anybody but Argentina.
Wow. That was a heck of a dissertation. I find myself disagreeing with none of that.
Chris,
you can tell I have a lot of both people both on the Argentinian side and a lot of people on the anti-Argentinian side in my group chat. It's very, for someone who's kind of a neutral in there, it's very entertaining.
Man, great note on the five refs for that game tomorrow. But like, Chris, so how are the refs selected? I know they come from different countries, but the other pushback we've heard, right, is that if you had some of the same problems we're seeing in this World Cup have not been as bad in Premier League, right, over the past couple years. Is that something that you agree with?
Well, I actually haven't minded the way the matches have been officiated. They've let them play a little bit more. The Prem is a debacle with VAR. They have still not figured out a way to utilize it properly. But the way the matches have kind of been officiated, and they've kind of let them get away with stuff, and you're not waiting for a whistle and a free kick after every little bit of contact. I kind of enjoy that. Let them play a little bit, which makes it even more surprising that they went to the screen in the monitor yesterday and called back that Egypt second goal.
I lied. Let's save your soccer plays and your golf and your baseball for the other side. But let's give you 45 seconds here to chime in postscript on Team USA. We didn't get a chance to hear from you on that.
Paul had the great analogy, and yeah, it was kind of like the United States. You're in pot A, pot 1, whatever it is. So you're automatically going to get put in the most advantageous spot in the group to advance. You got a relatively easy group. You got probably the worst third place team in the round of 32. Now you're in the big boy round in the round of 16 facing a legitimate team. And you should have been in the round of 16. And it was like you had a 15-foot uphill birdie putt and you left it short. And a 2-putt par for 15 straight up the hill. It was a missed opportunity. They came out unprepared, distracted, or whatever you want to say. Belgium came out clearly inspired by the events earlier that day.
Chris's picks next on A Numbers Game right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes. That's $30 million in guaranteed prizes. Cash in this football season in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entry starting at $1,000, all with no rake. No rake. That means every dollar stays in the prize pool. Circa Million, 18 weeks, 128 ways to win. Circa Survivor, pick one winner each week. Last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo for the high rollers, $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, 30 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details. Darren Frazier on Twitter. Live stream just went down on the laptop. Thank God for SiriusXM, so I don't miss anything. Let's just get this fixed before Crack returns tomorrow. Not seeing him would be tragic. Have a great day, boys. Yes, we will get it fixed.
Yeah, Fallica doesn't matter as much, you know, Gill.
Apparently not. And some clarification. Thank you, everybody, for chiming in on this. To the question of Vegas and the World Cup, Lawrence Anderson, Vegas was offered World Cup games. Allegiant refused to make the required field changes, or more accurately, from Marco Polo, Bobby Plump, 31, they couldn't host World Cup at Allegiant because the retractable grass tray is not wide enough for FIFA's specs, which I would imagine would be the case in Arizona as well. In other words, so other stadiums, like in Kansas City, made amends, But the two stadiums in Las Vegas and Arizona, Glendale, are so modern that to change those trays, if you will, right, where the field goes out and in, would require way too much money in renovations. RGB, hey guys, Derek was on with Mitch and Paul and explained that FIFA required millions of dollars of augmentation / deconstruction to a brand new stadium. Since it was partially funded by public funds, there was no desire to do so. That makes complete sense.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Thanks all, Lawrence, Marco, and the RGB. Del Mind the Gap Radio. Here you go, Kelley. Can Kelley share any secrets of weight loss and the key keeping it off? Mine is a 30-mile bike ride daily, he says. Kelley, the floor is yours.
That is good. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat that. I mean, look, I have, I think, been pretty open about this. I have been on Zepbound for a while now. I am ratcheting that down. But I think it's a lot of the things you hear from a lot of people, Gill, right? Look, I cut out soda. I cut out eating out as much and definitely fast food and just cooking more fresh food at home. It doesn't mean you've got to go like crazy dieting. For me, at least, it was just watching what I was eating a little bit better, definitely getting rid of soda, and trying to do some type of exercise, daily. Once you get into that routine, it's a lot easier to do once you get started doing it. So those would be the biggest piece of advice for me.
There it is. Kelley bailing on weight loss, everybody. Chris Fallica joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Kind enough to do a second segment with us again at Chris Fallica on Twitter, The Bear. All right, Chris, quarterfinals are set. Tomorrow it's France and Morocco. Friday it's Spain and Belgium. Saturday, doubleheader, Norway, England, Argentina, Switzerland. What you got for us?
Yeah, I've been told pounding water is also a key element of,
That's right.
of weight loss as well. Maybe throwing some tree bark too. I have not. I played a couple of things here. I did not play anything yet in France, Morocco. I played two things. I played Spain to 0 against Belgium, harkening back to what the U.S. match was. I think what we saw from Belgium, give Belgium full credit. Give Rudy Garcia, the manager, full credit, because what Portugal and Roberto Martinez did not do in changing their lineup and starting Rafael Leao and bringing in Gonzalo Ramos and sitting players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Rudy Garcia, and the match he had to have in the round of 16, sent Kevin De Bruyne to the bench, sent Jeremy Doku to the bench, had a younger group start, and it worked dividends. However, you're going now up against a Spain team which has not conceded in the tournament, got the stoppage time goal to get past Portugal last round. I think with the way their midfield and defense have been, I have a hard time thinking Belgium will score. This feels like another 1-0, 2-0 type game with Spain winning. And then the other match, which again, if you want to buy into conspiracy theories, a little bit at least, you look at England. England has 4 players, I believe, on yellow cards. Mark Gahey, a defender, Jude Bellingham, and Declan Rice. Bellingham and Rice, 2 of their probably 3 most important players, including Harry Kane. They are on yellow cards. If they get another yellow, they will miss the semifinal. Who would that semifinal be against? Argentina. Wow, look at that. What's this? So I think you can look at me. You can maybe look at England being a little timid defensively, not wanting to tempt the referee to pick up another yellow with one of those players. Both teams to score. Obviously, Holland very familiar with a lot of those defenders with Gahey and Hansa and some of the other guys who he plays against regularly in the Prem. Norway certainly is open to goals. So I think both teams to score. And if you are a real hardcore conspiracy theorist, search around, because a lot of times on those like prop builder applications that you have in some of the offshores, you can find individual players to get a card and maybe throw a little pizza money on a couple of those guys to get a card if you're really going hardcore pro FIFA Argentina there.
All right. So Spain win to 0, England, Norway, both teams to score yes, is what you said? Both teams to score yes on that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Kelley, before we move on to Chris's golf and baseball, have you heard this? It's going to make you happy. Have you heard about this? Since 1998, the team that eliminated Japan went on to win the World Cup. 1998, Croatia beats Japan. France beats Croatia. France goes on to win the cup. 2002, Turkey beats Japan. Brazil beats Turkey. Brazil goes on to win the cup. 2010. Oh, did we skip one there? 2010. Oh, I guess Japan wasn't in it. Paraguay beats Japan. Spain beats Paraguay. Spain wins the cup. 2018. So I guess it's whenever Japan is in. Belgium beats Japan. France beats Belgium. France wins the cup. 2022. Croatia beats Japan. Argentina beats Croatia. Argentina wins the cup. This year, Brazil beats Japan. Norway beats Brazil. Norway should win the cup based on that.
Just lock it in, man. Just lock it in. Let's go. Actually, wait, I have a real question for Chris. I like your both teams to score bet on that, but you know I'm going to be betting some Norway. Do you think, is it better the half goal or the double chance, or should I play Norway to advance? You're getting a little bit better number on Norway to advance. I'm kind of thinking
I would play the double. I would play the double chance just to open up the potential that England win in penalties or England win in stoppage time. I always am a little bit safer on that. And it came back to bite me in the tuchus yesterday because I wanted to play Switzerland to advance. And then when Manzabi was ruled out, that was a brutal injury for our young player, the tournament ticket, I got a little bit of cold feet and I just played Switzerland double chance, not to advance, and wound up costing myself a little money.
Okay. You do not want to get bitten in the tuchus. You want to avoid that.
No.
Chris, rapid fire. Scottish Open and then the Open Championship next week in golf. What do you got?
I know you and I and Kelley have had discussions about Ludwig Åberg. This feels like the perfect type of event for Ludwig Åberg to have a great week, top 5, top 10, go out there, great tournament. No, look at this. He's in form next week for the Open Championship, and price gets slashed and he does nothing. But Scottish Open, I did play Åberg top 5, top 10, and would be shocked if he wasn't in contention here and got everybody excited next week, Kelley.
Yep, Scottish Open history for Ludwig as this course is becoming more and more sticky with history. T8 last year, T4 in 2024. So Ludwig, great season so far. Like those bets, man. Like them.
Next
the
week,
Open Championship?
I got a long one for you next week. How about my guy Haotong Li? Last time it was at Birkdale. I think he fired 65 on Sunday. Finished third. He's contended in a couple of Masters. He's been around on the weekend. I saw him like 200 to 1 to win, which certainly leaves you some really juicy derivatives for top 10, top 20, things like that. But his story's well noted. Took some time off and issues and came back, and he's contended. He's been around in some majors. So I'm at a little bit of flyer on Haotong Li next week.
Yeah. To win it all or top 5, top 10?
I'll throw a couple of bucks on him to win it all. Just 200 to 1. Okay. Shoot, why not? But yeah, he's going to have a pretty nice top 10 type ticket on him.
Yeah, shout out to Pat Mayo. Gill, you remember us talking about this. One of my favorite nicknames in golf now, Chinese Koepka, because he just keeps playing well in majors. It's great. It's fantastic.
Okay. And then finally, last 60 seconds here, last 45 seconds. You are a Yankees fan by birth, but you're nibbling on something against them here. What is this?
Yeah, Will and I talked about this on Should Have Bet More the other day. 13 to 1 on the Yankees to miss the playoffs. I mean, I know they have a pretty decent size cushion in the wild card, but you need to see a little bit more from Cole. Schlittler obviously has been it, but when do they get Rodon back? When do they get Fried back? When do they get Judge back? Stanton, like who the heck knows? Their lineup is terrible. Not out of the realm of possibility that they sitting there the final couple of days of September right there in a wild card battle. So 13 to 1, why not?
Yeah, they got a 5.5 game cushion right now to be bounced out to the outside looking in. But there you go. From a Yankees fan, nibbling a little on the miss the playoffs at 13 to 1.
We can hate watch them. Why not? We'll all hate watch them together every night on the chat.
You enjoy that. I've noticed that about you with the Yankees.
Absolutely.
Chris Fallica, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, man. Coming back. AFC season win totals. Let's do it next.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Our NFL betting guide is out, of course, and whether you're betting futures, win totals, division races, MVP, Rookie of the Year, or Super Bowl odds, our guide helps you get ahead of the market before training camps begin. Inside, you'll find breakdowns of all 32 teams, projected win totals, best bets from VSiN experts, futures analysis, power ratings, and more. Get it today with our football special for just $175. That is all. Sooner you sign up, the more value you get with full access to everything we do across every sport through the Super Bowl. That includes daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, and 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe. Now that's VSIN.com/subscribe. Speaking of football, we got some season win totals to discuss. Ready to do this? We have it open. Watch this. Here we go.
Are the guys looking over or under? It's another edition of Win Total Wednesday on A Numbers Game.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. Now, no offense to Ryan, who does a great job voicing those, but as soon as Danny told us in our ears that we had an intro for this, Kelley and I, without missing a beat, like we haven't talked about this before, what did we both do at the same time?
Win Total Wednesdays.
That should be our thing.
Yeah, we just needed Chris to record that. We could redo that open. Yeah, Ryan, you do a great job. Sometimes Gill and I just sing. That's what we
just
do.
Sing. By the way, Darren Frazier, is having Fallica, Wishnev, Crack, and Fezzik on consecutive days just like watching back-to-back home runs? VSiN and A&G belong in the Sports Betting Hall of Fame. Oh, hashtag the absolute goats. Thank you, Darren Frazier.
Wow.
Yeah, it kind of is like having back-to-back home runs. And then Dr. Van Nostrad, I agree with all you said as per the stadium/FIFA. Question is, if these stadiums are so modern, why were they built like that to the point that they can't hold super massive events? Good day, boys. I don't think it's that they can't hold super massive events. They have concerts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that FIFA is so specific. So
no, they're all good questions. I wish I had detailed answers for you, right, Gill? Like it's the retractable field makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. Like Allegiant has massive concerts like you're talking about. So, and why would you spend all this money to build a new stadium and not give yourself a little bit of flexibility? It is all a little weird though. I get it. It's something though, obviously with the Raiders and the Cardinals having the same problem with that retractable field, something to do with that.
Because it's America. We love our football. And speaking of football, all right, sorry about that brief aside. I'm like a squirrel. Those two tweets caught my attention.
It is interesting. I've been fascinated by it too.
Okay, how are we going to do this? You want to do mine first, your first? You want to go 1-1 straight off?
Now let's go through your three and then we'll go through mine.
Okay, I will do mine in order. These are AFC, my favorite 3 AFC season win totals. I will do them favorite, second favorite, third favorite in that order. Last week, Kelley and I did NFC season win totals, and I had 3 overs, which, you never like to really shade that way, I guess, as a blanket thing. Right. But that's how the cookie crumbled for me in the NFC. In the AFC, I got 3 unders. My favorite under in the AFC, Kelley, is the under on the Los Angeles Chargers at 10.5 wins. I know people love the Chargers every offseason. I get it. Justin Herbert. Oh my God. Look at that arm. It's so incredible. Oh, Kelley, especially.
How many
Kelley,
playoff wins? On? This is where I told you at the beginning of the show. I loved your list so much because I don't share any of them. But my God, do I agree with a lot of that? I think the Chargers are gonna be pretty good this regular season. But the quality memes and gifs that were coming out after the USA soccer game, I was very proud of America for as many people that were on my side with this Justin Herbert thing, because it was the Herbert face on the ballistic body everywhere, where it's just like, yeah, great player, except for when we need him, when it counts. So yeah, I mean, look, hard to argue with this. I'll let you finish. I mean, this is a brutal division.
It's a brutal schedule for the Chargers. I mean, here's the thing. For when you time this bet, now might not be the best time, because their first 2 games are home against Arizona and home against the Raiders.
That's perfect. Schedule note right there after week 2.
Right. After week 2, mark it down. Probably better to play an adjusted season win total on the Chargers than it is to play it now on the under, because after those 2 games, oh my God, at Buffalo, at Seattle, home Denver, at Kansas City, bye week. Then it's at the Rams, but I get it. It's SoFi. Still, it's the Rams. Home Houston, at Baltimore. It eases up a little bit, but then they still have a home game against the Patriots, at Tampa, home San Francisco, and then, of course, the home with Kansas City and the at Denver in the elevation in the wintertime. I don't know how you're getting to 11 wins with that. I mean, you've got to be an unbelievable football team to get to 11-6 with that schedule. I'm going to say they don't. I'm going under 10.5 on the Los Angeles Chargers. That's my favorite AFC season win total. My second favorite, Kelley, is the under on the Dolphins at 4.5. Good God, are they bad? At least on paper. New head coach, new front office, too many unknowns. Yes, is there a talented player on both sides of the ball here and there? Sure there is. But they clearly don't outweigh just how bad some of these roster positions are. Our buddy Mike Clay did something on like, what's the worst part of the Dolphins? He said it's the secondary. Like the secondary is just, they allowed a 58.3 QBR last season, which was the 5th worst. He says it's even worse this year. And for whatever reason, like, so Minkah Fitzpatrick's gone, Ashton Davis is gone. Rasul Douglas was good, and they didn't even like make an attempt to re-sign him. He's with Washington. Jack Jones is gone. The other one is the wide receiver room. We love rooms. Their best 2 wide receivers are Tutu Atwell and Jalen Tolbert, maybe. Like, it's just not good. How are they getting to 5 wins with that schedule? Like, you look at their schedule up and down, and it's like, get me to 5 wins. Good luck.
Yeah, it's just, we talk about it all the time, just obviously plain numbers. It's tough. It's always tough to talk yourself into an under at a 4.5. But man, I mean, this is the worst. To me, this is by far the worst roster in the NFL. It's really just, if you want to compare to Arizona and just talk about Arizona's schedule being a little tougher, fine. But yeah, if I had to play a Gill, it would be absolutely on the under with you.
Miami Dolphins rated as the 32nd best roster out of 32 teams in the NFL, meaning the worst. And my third favorite one, this is a bit of a drop down from the first 2, so don't get too mad at me, Patriots fans, but you understand where I'm coming from. You go from the easiest schedule, not only last year in the NFL, but this century, right? Since the 99 Rams, the easiest schedule in the NFL, to one that plays the AFC West, the NFC North, and then Jacksonville as well in there as well. There's at Seattle, there's home Pittsburgh, there's at Jacksonville, there's at Buffalo, there's at Chicago, there's home Green Bay, there's at Detroit, there's at the Chargers, there's home Buffalo, there's at Kansas City, there's home Denver. I look at that schedule. I know you were 14-3 last year, and I know a drop of 5 games is a lot, but I'm thinking you just get shy of this 9.5. I think it's a 9-8 season. So under Patriots, just because of the shift in schedule.
Yeah, it would be a lean that way for me too. I think they're probably 8. I mean, look, it's probably like 8 to 10 wins for them is where I see them. Yeah. But yeah, I think if leaning one way would be the under for me. I'll continue it with AFC East because this is not going to surprise anybody. Bills over 10.5. This is a lean for me. I did the same thing I did last week. Gill, I do have one bet, and then I got two where I kind of lean. Lean Bills over 10.5. I mean, a lot of the reasons you just went through, right? Patriots, a little bit tougher schedule. I think that comes into play. Not that this Bills one is easy either, by the way. If you wanted to take the approach, and this is probably what I'll do, this is a great time of year to start making these calendar notes for all these teams, right? You just did a great job of noting one of when does the schedule get harder or easier? Is there some stretches where it makes more sense to get involved with an in-season win total in those first 5 weeks at Houston versus Detroit versus the Chargers versus the Patriots at the Rams? That's pretty tough. So if you wanted to circle, hey, maybe getting in when they go to play the Raiders here, that would be a fun game. Definitely going to that. Going to see the Raiders here in week 6. That could be a good time to maybe jump in as this gets a little bit easier, at least the rest of the way. This is a big play against the AFC East, though, for me, really overall. This and the fact that you got Josh Allen, who just doesn't miss games. Patriots, a little bit tougher situation for them this year. I think the Dolphins are terrible, as you outlined, and I don't think the Jets are all that very, very good. I mean, look, Jets might be able to surprise a little bit, I think, just with the Dolphins and the Patriots possibly taking steps back, but they're not going to be challenging the Bills. So I did play the Bills division, would lean over on the win total as well. The other lean that I have kind of on win totals, Jags over their 8.5. Same sort of thing. I'm probably going to end up betting them in their division. Haven't made that jump yet, though, Gill. Do like this Jags team. This stadium stuff is going to be interesting to monitor. I thought Steve Mackin did a great job of breaking this down in the NFL betting guide for us here at VSiN. Reminder, they're going to be renovating the stadium this year. You're going to play weeks 4 through 11 where they are not at home, and when they do return home, you're going to have reduced seating capacity to about 40,000 people. So Interested to see how that impacts the Jags season, but would be a division bet for me over a win total. One win total bet that I do have made this was in the NFL betting guide. Browns under 6.5. Loaded division that they have to go up to. Questions at quarterback, switches at the offensive line, switches at the coaching staff. This has got disaster season written all over it. Under 6.5 for Cleveland.
There it is. Our favorite AFC season win totals. How about a little basketball break next? LeBron's odds next team. DeMar DeRozan, coach of the year. It's a numbers game.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game. Gill Alexander, live from San Francisco this week, last week as well. Do one more week from San Francisco here at some point in the summertime. Be back in Vegas eventually, where Kelley Bydlon is at the Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas, VSiN Studios, where, look, he's under the lights, staring into TV screens, blinded by the lights. What are you watching currently, Kelley?
I got Fritz and Zverev on. Yeah.
Fritz and Zverev. Zverev wins the first set. They're on serve in the second. Fritz had a medical timeout at some point in the second, I'm being told. Lovely. Meanwhile,
it's hot. It's like 91 degrees.
Meanwhile, we got the text from or the tweet rather from Trip Tepper, who said, "What was the pre-tourney price on Arthur Ferry to win his quarter? 200 to 1? I honestly don't know." Arthur Ferry is up on Flavio Koboli a set and now is up 4-1 in the second set breaker as he tries to win his quarter. I could not even tell you what his number was, but keep in mind, he is the home crowd favorite because Jack Draper didn't make it to the tournament. Emma Raducanu didn't make it to the tournament. Every other English player on the men's and women's side has gotten bounced. But he's the guy. He's the guy that they have their hopes in. And this is just a magic carpet ride for him on grass. Good for him, man.
I mean, it would. I know it's unlikely, Gil, but Fritz and Ferry advancing here would be pretty damn awesome.
Let's go, Taylor Fritz. Get this done.
I mean, if you knew you had an American or a Brit in the Wimbledon final, wow.
Well, they waited, the Brits did, so many years for Andy Murray to win Wimbledon, right? It had been a United Kingdom drought for seemingly forever. And then Andy Murray won Wimbledon, which was like a massive moment. Clearly nobody has since. And then Emma Raducanu is really where their hopes are. I mean, with apologies to the Katie Bolters of the world, I suppose. But Emma Raducanu is really the hope on the ladies' side, and she didn't even, she didn't make the event. Bolter, by the way, is Bolter and Heather Watson and those types. So the Raducanu is really the hope on the ladies' side. All right, let's talk some NBA. Once again, LeBron James, because we were talking earlier with Jensen about, what's the excitement level like in Cleveland for LeBron James heading back to Cleveland for a third stint. Right now at Kalshi, Cleveland, yes, for LeBron James' next team, minus 108, no is minus 112. So a virtual coin flip, virtual 50-50 over at Kalshi. Miami is the next shot. So at plus, what is that? Plus 489. No, pardon me. Golden State plus 455, yes. Second, Miami, another reunion there, we plus 489 to the yes. Then it's Philly, Minnesota, Denver, Boston, and on and on and on till the break of dawn. Do you have any instinct here, Kelley? Any? Man,
well, there's been some reporting here. I know Windhorse commented on it yesterday. This is kind of picking up steam, and it does sound like Cleveland is at the top. I think we're far from settled. It sounds like things are speeding up here, but man, I think the way that this first started with LeBron and free agency and then us just kind of knowing LeBron, I don't. It might end up being Cleveland. I don't think that we're going to see this in the next few days. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think we're getting that. We also had a report this morning that I think you and I were already thinking this way, that Golden State is unlikely unless Anthony Davis can be figured out somehow, and all indications are that that's not going to be something that the Wizards are doing. So at that plus 455. I think I'd be out on them. Man, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him with Minnesota or Denver, but completely understand why you'd want to run and hide out east. That is something that I would be doing myself.
You agree with the Windhorse sentiment that LeBron knows exactly where he's going?
I mean, you know what? Probably, but because I don't believe there's actually as many serious suitors as LeBron's camp has led everybody to believe.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think Cleveland actually is a serious suitor. They had the whole report yesterday. Rich Paul was like, 27 teams have contacted us. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I believe that. or I don't know. They might have contacted you. I don't know how much money that they're really running to offer LeBron in some of these spots. So I'm sure Cleveland would love to have him back and would love to have this story be completed. And it would be fun to watch. I think for the sentimental reasons would be fun to watch.
Millions being traded on LeBron's next team. How can I put this? Not quite millions being traded on prediction markets as to where DeMar DeRozan's next team will be, or what his next team will be. DeMar DeRozan waived by the Kings. He's free. He's a free agent. Any thought on where he ends?
Now, free is the key word. If you can get out of Sacramento and start your life over again, that is big in today's NBA. I think there's been early reports that the Heat are up there, which I think make a lot of sense. You're not getting that 3-point shooting that they desperately need, but he's one of the best mid-range shooters out there. They need any shooting that they can get. I think they're likely. And I'm loving this Toronto Raptors story too, right?
I knew you were going there.
Them building up, right? I think that makes a lot of sense to return one of the franchise all-time leading scorers and to get them in the mix. And I think he could fit pretty well with this roster. So I think it's a little bit up to DeRozan as far as, up to both these guys. The money's going to come into play. Money has never mattered more in the NBA than it does right now. This is part of what led to the Jaylen Brown split. This is part of what has led to a lot of these trades and free agency moves. And it's going to continue to matter. So I think that's the biggest thing. And we just don't know, right, Gill, is how much these guys are asking for and how much they're expecting out of these teams.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan was not on the Raptors championship team, right? He left the year before, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Wouldn't be a complete Raptors championship reunion with Kawhi, because I think DeRozan had already moved on to the Spurs that year when the Raptors won the championship. And then there's the odds to win Coach of the Year, which is it's always interesting in season. It's certainly interesting before a season even starts. Nick Nurse. There's no one shorter than 9-1. Let's put it that way. Nick Nurse, now with Jaylen Brown in the fold, 9-1 for the Philadelphia 76ers. Darko Rajakovic of the Toronto Raptors with Kawhi, he's 9-1. Chris Finch of the T-Wolves at 10-1. Sean Sweeney of the Magic, 10-1. Eric Spoelstra of the Heat, 10-1. Mike Inori, new coach with the Blazers after they refused to give the job to Thiago Splitter. He's 13-1 Coach of the Year. Dusty May, the new coach from Michigan to the Mavs, 15-1. Will Hardy of the young and talented Jazz is 15-1. Ime Udoka of the Rockets, 16-1. And then Brian Keefe. Do you know who the Washington Wizards head coach is, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. It's Brian Keefe. He's 20-1, as is Rick Carlisle of the Pacers.
So I think, the biggest question that I have a feeling, Gil, I will not have a bet in this market before the season. There are some decent candidates here at the top. I think the biggest question, though, is how would we, especially with what we saw out of Missoula just this past season, how are we going to treat Rick Carlisle? Right? 20-1. That looks like a good number. And if we want to play the whole, what are preseason expectations, win total expectations, and stuff coming back from a year ago, right? Of what they did last season and how much you're going to get better one year over another. Well, then you'd say, well, the Pacers are probably going to be a whole lot better this year. There's going to be this massive increase in wins. But like, is that fair? I don't really think that's fair if we're all going to run to give Rick Carlisle this award if they jump up to a 50-win team. We kind of expected this. This was kind of the game plan with Halliburton out. It was go lose a bunch of games, get a good draft pick, then you're going to be back with this reloaded roster. So I don't really know what your thoughts are on that. That's the first name that kind of jumps out to me because I'm like, I don't really know how they're going to handle this. A couple of the other ones, though, I think the short shots are fair, and I think they're pretty tough to bet into right now. Sean Sweeney has been one of the more popular big-name assistant coaches in the NBA for the past couple years in a league where we don't often talk about assistant coaches. And really, he was the guy who got a lot of credit for being kind of the defensive coordinator in San Antonio with Victor Wembanyama. So can you go to Orlando, a team that we expected a whole lot out of this time of last year? Can you go to Orlando and find something with that group and actually get them back to a serious Eastern Conference contender? If I had to make one bet right now, that would be the one, Gill. But at 10-1, I'm not running to make that bet. I think there's also a world we live in where Eric Spoelstra finally gets his recognition if the Heat are able to put together a good season. So I think those are the ones that I'd be most interested in right now. But 10-1, man, there's a lot of guys that could win this award.
Listen, I think you have to contend with this kind of stuff for everybody. Nick Nurse. I mean, if they're good with Jaylen Brown, does Nick Nurse get credit? Yeah. If the Raptors are great with Kawhi, does Darko get credit? Mm-hmm. You mentioned it. When it came to Rick Carlisle with the return of Tyrese Halliburton. I'll tell you the guy that I'm thinking about, Dusty May at 15-1. If the Mavericks, who were 26-56 last year,
yeah,
if they take a big step up, I think Dusty May gets all the credit.
Yep.
In Dallas. So I don't know. That's a name that I gravitate towards. Toddy Wishnev on the other side. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.